Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Podcast with an Accent. I'm your host, Vadim Gulyuk, and today I have a pleasure of having with me Patrick J. Kelly, who is an actor and who's been on quite a few commercials and shows like Game of Thrones and the Vikings. Patrick, welcome.
Glad to be here, Vadim.
Patrick, let's jump right in it. What accent do you speak with?
Well, now, Vadim, sure you should know by now, sure, it's an Irish accent. I'm an Irish man, born and bred, and this is an Irish accent.
Why you are who you are and why you do what you do?
Well, the Kelly clan is a long descendants of Kellys, and we go back a long way. I think there is talks that we're descendants from kings. I'm in the middle of the moment of doing a family tree, and recently I just found out or discovered that my great-grandfather was named also Patrick J. Kelly, coming from a place called Kilkenny in Ireland. So the Kelly tree is quite big. Patrick J. Kelly had a lot of children, I think 9 or 10 kids, and out of them, only one stayed behind, and the rest all went to America. They all, during the emigration period, they all emigrated to America. And I think the youngest one, which was Peter, which would be my grandfather, he stayed behind, I think, to look after the farm or whatever. And then from there, then the Kelly clan in Ireland grew from that branch of the tree, say. And all the rest are in the States. And I'm kind of proud of my roots, proud to be Irish.
Speaking of yourself, what's your personal big why for being an actor?
It happened back in 2012. I was in construction all my life. I worked in construction all my life. Since I was 15, 16, I've been working in construction. And around 2012, 2010, there was a recession here in Ireland, and work became not so plentiful. And I found myself out of work and sitting at home looking at the four walls and nothing to do. So I thought it was a great time to follow my dream and take up something that I always wanted to do, which was acting. And so I jumped right into it, and I've never looked back since. It's been a great trip. Still is a great trip.
And what do you want to accomplish with your life?
I'm kind of like convinced that Steven Spielberg lost his phone, because I haven't got his number. He's never rang me, so I'm convinced he's lost my number or somehow. No, I'm only joking. I do what I do because I love doing it. When I started off doing it, starting off acting, I started way down the very bottom, and I didn't know what I was doing, how to start, or where to go. I just started researching, was on the internet. I went back to college to do performing arts college, which is in Dublin. And at that time, I hadn't got a car, and I used to get up at 7:00 in the morning here to get a bus bring me to Dublin, and then from Dublin, then I'd have to get a dart. It's like not a subway, but it's like a tram, and that would bring me out to Bray, where the college was, and then I'd begin the college about 9:30. There for the whole day, and then as soon as college was finished, I'd have to jump straight back in the tram, get back into Dublin, back on the bus, get back home. So by the time I got home, it would be about 7:30 that evening, 8:00, 7:30 that evening. So I'm gone the whole day. And I remember someone asked me before, when I gave them my routine, my daily routine, they were like, are like, why would you do that? You know, why are you doing that? And I just said, well, I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. You know, it's what I had, it's what I wanted to do, and it's what I wanted to learn, and so I did it. And but what I want to accomplish, you know, it'd be great to get that one nice role that would kind of like set me up, not just here, but like internationally. But like I don't think about that. I'd like to get a script. If I'm given a script, I'd like to get a script and a character. I'm given this character, and I'd like to break down this character, and I'd like to bring this character to life and kind of get inside his head and bring this story to life and put it up on screen. And when people watch it, it's a great feeling when they look at that, they don't see me, they see the character, you know. So to me, it's about, it's a passion that you do it, no matter what, like you're getting paid or not getting paid. If that's what you want to do, you just do it, you know. It's like you doing the podcast and your photography and stuff. Like I see that, I can tell that like you have a passion for it and you love what you do. Obviously, because you're doing it. This is an independent thing for you, right? This is what you decided to do.
Absolutely.
Yes. So it's like the same. You wouldn't be doing it if you didn't like it, you know. So I'm like giving you a podcast. I'm giving you a question.
Well, you know, I like people and I like stories, and I'm a storyteller. You know, whether I do photography or video, and this is another channel for me to tell my guest stories to the public.
Yeah.
Speaking of stories, Patrick, what's your story?
I just told you my story. I was born and raised in Dublin, which is the capital of Ireland, and I'm now living in a small little village, which is in the Midlands of the country. I'm in the country. Ireland's not that big. You would probably drive from Dublin to Galway, from one side of Ireland to the other, in about 3 hours, I'd say. From one side to the other, you do it no problem. And that's including a break in between for a cup of tea and a little stop, you know. So it's not that big. So I'm grew up in Dublin. I'm now living in the Midlands. And as I said, I worked in construction all my life, but since 2012, I'm in performing arts, doing drama and acting. And this is me. This is what I do. This is what I love doing.
What are you inspired by, Patrick?
What inspires me? What inspires me is, as I said, creativity. It's like, as I said, getting that script and getting that character and making that character real. But I also do some independent stuff, like my own, like script writing and storytelling and filmmaking, and even just little bits and pieces. You know, if I think of an idea to shoot something on film or whatever, you know.
Patrick, does your life at the moment look like what you've envisioned it to be in your early 20s?
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. In my early 20s, I was in full-time construction. I had a totally different life. If someone had told me that later on that I was going to be acting in front of camera and doing this kind of stuff and whatever, I would have thought, nah, can't see it happen. Because I have this thing, and maybe other people have this thing. I don't know what it was when I was growing up. I thought actors just became actors. When you see actors on TV in a film or something, whatever, you know, I just thought they became actors. They're actors, and I work in construction, and that's the way life went. You are who you are. But I didn't know that at that time when I was younger, I could be whatever I want. You know, I was on a track, and I was going through life, and that was my life. But I didn't think. it's totally different now than it was when I was in my 20s.
And that being said, what advice would you give your younger self?
If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell my younger self not to be afraid, and as well as don't be an asshole. I was an asshole when I was younger. You know, I was just like, I was a little devil. Anyway, but I would tell my younger self, you know, don't be afraid. Like if you want to be something, you want to do something, do it. Don't think that it's crazy or it's out of the box or that you can't do it, you know, or don't think. I would tell myself, don't think that this is your life. You can be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, but you gotta work at it, right? You know, you gotta really want it, you know. Totally. In a realistic terms, you know. But yeah, that's what I would have told myself, I suppose.
What's the best story from your life that has a valuable message?
I think that's it. You know, I think, like I've seen some people who think, like a lady on Facebook there was asking me on Facebook about acting. She was thinking about acting. She said that she's old. She said, I'm in my 40s and I think it's just crazy, like taking up acting now or doing acting now, you know, whatever. I don't think it's crazy at all. I mean, Morgan Freeman didn't start acting until he was in his 40s, you know? So, like, my advice would be, like, if you have a dream, if you want to do something, or if you feel like you're not in the right place and you want to do something, and no matter how crazy it sounds, just do it, you know? And don't think about what other people think, or, you know, you're in this life to make yourself happy, not other people happy, you know? So no matter what it is that you want to do, be it, you know, it's not just about acting. I mean, it could be a plumber who wants to be like you, a photographer or whatever. Do it, you know? Could be a carpenter who maybe doesn't want to do carpentry anymore, but just wants to do something else. And he thinks, so we as humans, we get stuck in this kind of situation where, you know, we're going down this path and we got blinkers on and we can't look at the bigger picture because we're going straight ahead. But I think if you really feel in your heart that you want to do something, at least give it a go. Try it, you know. You can't go through all your whole life saying, oh, I wish I had done that. I wish I could have done this. You know, do it, try it. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, At least you gave it a shot. You gave it a go, you know? So that would be my advice to anyone. If you really want to do something, do it. Don't listen to anyone else, only this. Listen to your heart and just do it. I think if you really love what you're doing, you're going to keep doing it, you know? But I've also seen, I could tell by other people who are in the acting industry, and I could tell by their attitude that they want to be famous and they want to make lots of money and they want to be a household name. And, you know, and look, you know, if they get it. But, like, you can't have that attitude. Not in this industry, not in the acting industry. You can't have that attitude going into this, doing this stuff. You have to have a passion for doing it, you know. Some people could get lucky and they could just get spotted and they could be in the right place at the right time and they might just get up there really quick. And it happens. But most of the time, acting is about rejection. You know, you need to be thick-skinned. You can't go to an audition, do an audition, and then come out and start thinking, oh, did I do that right? I should have done it this way, or I should have said that, I should have stood like this, you know. Once it's done, it's done. You can get out there and you just go home and you just forget about it because it's out of your hands. There's nothing you can do, you know. And even if you don't get it, it just might be that you're the wrong height or the wrong frame, or, you know, but 99.9 times out of 100, you don't get booked. You just don't get the role for whatever reason. And that's why when you do it, you just need to come out, finish, and then move on, work on something else, and carry on with the next
one. What's your favorite book that you've read and why?
Now, the thing is, I don't read books. As I said, I'm more of a visual person. If someone gave me a book and said, hey, look at this, read this book, this is really good, you know, you should read it, I'd say, it's on DVD. Is it a film? I just don't read books, you know, it's just not my thing. So for me, it's movies or TV shows. As I said, I'm a visual person. So I can't give you the best book, but I can give you the best movie that stands out, which would be Arrival. I don't know if you've seen Arrival.
I have not.
But no, it's really good. And the reason why it's good is because, well, you see, usually when I'm watching a movie, I'd have to watch it twice because the first time I'm watching it, I'm looking at camera angles, and I'm looking at lighting, and I'm thinking, you know, why did the director put the camera there? Why did they get the director to move them people there? And I'm analysing what's in the screen, you know. Most of the time I'm kind of like knocking myself, hello, watch the story, listen to the story, watch the movie. And I'm like, I forget, like, so I'd have to go back and maybe watch it the second time. But Arrival was good because usually as well I can predict things. When a story's going, I can predict, he's the killer. There's something wrong with him. I think something bad about him or whatever. But Arrival was good. The first time I watched it now, it was really good because the director, at the beginning of the movie, I seen something really, really small, and it kind of caught my eye, and he went away from it really quick. But it hit him, it stayed in my head. And I was trying to predict, you know, what was going on. And I couldn't, because he was bringing you down a path and keeping you away from the main picture and the main story, what was going on. For me, anyway, that's the way it worked for me until the end. Then I realized, I went, you know, that's really clever, you know. So that movie, I like that movie because I was not able to predict as much, you know.
I see. Patrick, what's your favorite quote?
I got a couple of them. Life has no remote control. You got to get up and change it yourself. Right? And then there's another one, which I have here on my wall, which I have it up here now a few years. And this actually came from Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey said it in a speech. And it's, if you believe that you are going to fail in life, then you might as well fail at something you love doing. Yeah. And that goes back to what I was talking about. When people say that they're too old to make a change, whatever, you're not too old, you know. Or if people say, I don't want to do that because I'll be no good at it, or I don't think it'll be any good, you know. I think I'll be useless. So, but if you're going to spend the rest of your life thinking that you're no good at something, then you are going to be no good at something, you know. Give it a go. And if you love it, you're going to keep doing it. So you're never going to fail. If you love what you're doing, you're never going to fail.
Why bother otherwise?
Well, this is it, like, you know. Why bother? You're not going to bother doing something that you don't want to do.
What turns you on, Patrick?
Apart from my queen? I think, as I said, acting, creating something. You know, when I'm editing, when I'm on my computer doing some editing, and I can see something coming together, cutting in a scene or something, and it's flowing really nice. And then I add in some music, and then that feels right as well. And it's starting to, the picture is starting to come together, and it looks really good. That kind of gives me a buzz, you know. That kind of like, oh, that looks really good, you know. So I think creating something visually, that kind of makes me happy, as well as my queen.
You must.
Yes. Everyone who's living in New York, I will be there in April for episode 3 of Game of Thrones. I'm going to be in a place called the Stone Creek Bar, which is in Manhattan. They're having a trivia night. I'm going to be there as a special guest. So they're having a trivia night, and then after that, then they're going to be showing episode 3, which is an episode that you do not want to miss. Okay? You do want to miss. And then after the episode 3, after the showing, then I'm going to be chatting to people and fans and answering questions and tell them what it was like working on the biggest show in the world. It's the biggest show in the world now. I think it's 10 on IMDb, or 9.9 on IMDb at the moment. You know, it's the biggest show in the world, and it's the last season as well. Last season of this particular franchise of Game of Thrones. But there'll be more coming. There's the prequel coming. You know, so they're in pre-production with that, so they're working on that. So all you New Yorkers out there, and William, you're coming.
Totally.
I want to see you there, right? So I'll see you in April in New York City, episode 3 of Game of Thrones, and a few beers.
Thank you for sharing. Patrick, what's the best way to find you online?
You know, people ask me, do I have a Twitter handle? Am I on Instagram, Snapchat? You know, I can just barely keep up with Facebook. You know, I can just, that takes up so much of my time. And even at that, like if I had other stuff, so you'll get me on Facebook. I think you'll just find me online. If you Google Patrick J. Kelly actor, you'll find me. Get me on Facebook. But that's the best place where you'll find me. So I want everyone here that's looking at this, get onto that Facebook, you know, start following me and start looking at what I'm doing.
Perfect. Thank you for your time. Our episode is at the end.
Oh, I feel so sad.
New York is coming. We'll reconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. Another interview in New York City.
Perfect. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the next episode.